What is up, everypony? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at another My Little Pony Infection AU, and this one is known as Shade Distress, and it is uploaded by Frankenstein here on TikTok. They have just over 1,000 followers, but I do gotta inform anyone who hasn't seen the community post to understand how this is going to be done. Doing AUs is going to be slightly different now, and it's going to take me some time. And let me explain why before we actually jump into the video. So, TikTok has had a problem lately, and I highly doubt they'll be capable of fixing it because I've made multiple complaints and it's always the same thing, and there's nothing on my behalf. I've cleared the caches, I've done this, I've done that. TikTok just doesn't know how to fix problems. Now, what is the problem, you ask? Whenever you get to the last slide of a specific set of slides, it always skips the last one. It doesn't matter if it's important or it's highly important to the story. It always automatically skips it. Within a span of less than a second, you'll click on it right when you get to the last slide. It'll blink for a second, not even a second, and it'll automatically go up or down based upon the video. So TikTok won't fix that because I don't think they're capable of fixing problems, especially when they get a large amount of requests. When all they do is repeat the same thing, sounding like a broken record. TikTok, fix your shit. You're dog shit sometimes. But the people who create these AUs are not dog shit. I actually really like a lot of these AUs, and I'm pretty excited to look at this one, because in order for me to do this AU, I had to download each and every slide related to the AU, and I had to put it into a folder on my computer in order for me to look at it. So it's not going to have anything that's going to make it take extra time to transition. It's just going to be every slide numbered, placed next to each other. So enough wasting time with the introduction to this video. Let's jump into Shade Distress and see how good of an AU this is, because I'm guessing Frankenstein put a ton of work into this, and I did my absolute damnedest to avoid getting any sneak peeks when downloading the slides. So let's jump in and see what we've been missing out on. So here we are on Shade Distress. There is a trigger warning for gore and body horror. We have Discord, who is uninfected or possibly immune, but it's unknown. He's taking the outbreak very lightly. He's mostly been concerned about Fluttershy's whereabouts. He was preparing to meet Fluttershy when the outbreak started. And Discord looks pretty cool here. I like that. Then we have Diamond here, who is not infected, but also not immune. He isn't the best when it comes to surviving, but he's still alive, so it's fine. He was in his toy store when the outbreak began. He looks pretty cool too. Snowstorm is not infected, but also not immune with a question mark, so it's not exactly known. He's been living in the Everfree Forest all by himself ever since the outbreak started. His stature is smaller than the other ponies, but he's still an adult pony. He doesn't talk much and usually keeps to himself, which makes him seem even more like a fool sometimes. Spike is not infected, but also not immune. He is worried about Twilight and his friends, and he has been trying to find them, but Starlight hasn't let him go too far out of Ponyville. He was helping Starlight out in the library when the outbreak began. Starlight Glimmer is not infected, but also not immune. After Twilight and her friends went missing, she put up a shelter in Ponyville, the headquarters being Twilight's castle. She currently looks after Spike and works as the head of the shelter and survival group. She was with Spike tidying up the library when the outbreak began. Then we have King Sombra, but no longer King because King's scratched out. He's uninfected with a question mark, but also possibly not immune, but we don't know. He was found in a changeling cocoon near the borders of Ponyville. He doesn't remember anything about getting cocooned and being dead. His magic seems to be gone. He doesn't know what caused this, and it is speculated that someone or something took his magic and cocooned him. So he might be a good guy here, but I don't know. And we have Trixie Lola Moon. We love Trixie here. She's not infected, but she's not immune. She's been helping out Starlight in the Ponyville shelter and tries to keep everyone's moods up by putting on the shows as the great and powerful magician, Trixie. She thinks it's helping, but also not very sure about it. She was sleeping in her carriage when the outbreak began, then found herself rolling into Ponyville in the carriage. Her carriage has been badly damaged after the crash, but miraculously, her magician gear survived the crash. Lyra Heartstrings, who is infected, this is grotesque, is infected, but the stages are unknown. She was the first. She couldn't have seen it coming. And if we take a look at her infected design here, she has like a bunch of like, are these like vines? What are these? Like black sludge-like vines coming out of her. It's coming out of her freaking brain here. Is that an eyeball popping out of her mouth? This is crazy. That is absolutely nuts. Now we have the next part. It's going to be a lot easier to get through the parts when you have them lined up, by the way. Super amazing stuff. I love this. So we got the Shade Disease stages. Stage 1 is First Contact. The Shade attached itself to Bonbon. So now she's been infected by the Shade Disease here on the floor. Stage 3, it immediately skips Stage 2. Hang wait. Yeah, I don't... Either there was a Stage 2 and I probably didn't get it. And if I didn't, I apologize. It was being very weird trying to download the slides. But I think it might have skipped for a reason, because I think Stage 2 might be an in-between of this and the previous one. So Stage 3 is taking over the Shade. Oh, my apologies. I messed up. Stage 3, taking over. The Shade is taking over the body, slowly, and the organs are all shutting down. The coat and mane color fades, / darkens. The Shade sprouts tentacles through the brain and outside the head. This stage is the most painful one, which I can obviously get it. There's tentacle-like things basically digging in your brain. Oh, Stage 2 came after. I might have accidentally highlighted it wrong. I was numbering these. Stage 2, to spread. The Shade starts to spread through the body in the matter of hours. Bleeding from the nose becomes more frequent and the pupil dilates, covering most of the sclera. So yeah, I was right. It's kind of like an in-between of the two. Stage 4, Lost and Starved. The pony's body gets rapidly thinner. The Shade is feeding off of their body fat and muscles, everything it can consume. The Shade seems to not like the eyes, however, and it throws them out. The mane and tail are completely turned into tentacles, and the cutie mark is lost. That would explain why Lyra had an eyeball popping out of her mouth. Crazy stuff. Stage 5, Consumed and Reformed. The pony is no more. The Shade has complete control over the mind and body, reshaping it to its own desire. The body is now slightly transparent, and despite not having the eyes, the Shade seems to see perfectly fine, even better than most other creatures, but it is afraid of light and magic, for now. So, Bonbon's dead as hell. Moving on to the next part, though. So, we have the first part here. This is part 18. I believe I numbered them in the order that I downloaded them. Discord? Oh, hello, Diamond Tier. I presume. Yes, what are you doing here? Well, I'm checking in on Fluttershy, of course. Discord. Fine, I was just waiting for her to come back. Happy? Well, since you're just waiting, why don't you come to Ponyville and wait there with the rest of us? And there's an infected pony right here. Moving on to the next part. Wait, what do you mean, the rest of us? And there's an infected coming up behind you, Discord. Boom. Magic. Mr. Tier here just took care of an infected. What was that thing? Just another infected. What? Seriously? An infection? I left you ponies alone for 5 minutes and you caused the apocalypse? Just follow me, will you? I shall explain things later. Fine. For your information, I'm only coming with you to find Fluttershy. That's good enough for me. Next part. Meanwhile, in the shelter. Sakura, were you able to find anything useful? Not particularly. Although I had met a pony living in the gloom. Well, they're dead now. His name is... Oh, no, he's not dead. His name is Snowstorm. He actually looks really cool. That's a really cool design. If you hear talking in the background, just ignore that. That's the family inside. Moving on to the next part. Zecora is uninfected but also not immune. She has been helping survivors with Starlight in Twilight's castle, and she also travels in and out of the Everfree Forest, aka the Gloom, mostly collecting uninfected herbs for medicine and sometimes guiding lost or injured survivors to Ponyville and other smaller shelters near the forest. She was returning home from Ponyville when the outbreak started. Sweetie Belle is uninfected but also not immune. She was grounded by Rarity and was doing her chores in the Carousel Boutique when the outbreak began. She is worried about her sister, but at least Apple Bloom is there to keep her company. She is currently staying in Twilight's castle with most of the other ponies. Apple Bloom is not infected but also not immune. She is staying at Twilight's castle to help Sweetie Belle and others out, but she also often goes back to the Sweet Apple Acres, or what's left of it at least. It was one of the places which immediately got overran by the Shade when the outbreak began. She was doing chores in the barn with Big Mac when the outbreak started. She and Big Mac, though a bit hesitantly, ran away from the acres. They've barely escaped with their lives. Scootaloo is missing. Now, I do remember a slight bit of this one when I was downloading, so this one, the trigger warnings, take it seriously. This is a pretty triggering one. Oh boy. So that's Scootaloo. One wrong turn. One wrong turn was all it took, and she's getting killed off by an infected. She was just a kid. Now she's dead as hell. That is grotesque. Oh my god, she was just a child. Well, she's dead now. Rest in peace, Scootaloo. You will not be forgotten. Now we have the next part here. In the shelter, after Diamond Tear brought Discord back. Look, Discord, I'm glad that you are here, but I need to know if you will help us or not, because you seem a bit too relaxed for a person who is looking for his friend. Well, dear, would you rather have me panicking like you? Slam. The great and powerful Trixie has arrived, and I brought Spike. And we have some news. The lookout team found a changeling cocoon near the borders, and inside was... well, it's someone you might just want to see for yourself. Now we have the introduction to King Sombra. The lookout duties. And there they are, flying around. Whoa, what's that? That looks like an area where it's so easy to get infected. Is that an altar? Shit, how did we miss this? We have to report this back to Starlight, quick. Uh-oh. Why are you smiling? It's not a good sign. Of all the things that I expected to see, this was not one of them. And here I thought there wouldn't be any more surprises today. Well, at least he isn't infected. Anyways, the patient is relatively healthy, and despite some mild amnesia and loss of magic, he is good to go. Even though I would very much love to conduct some experiments on both him and the cocoon, I know better than to... Excuse me? I'm right here, you know. I will be leaving him to you now, Starlight. Next part. Oh dear Celestia. What are we going to do? Oh, is that Scootaloo? Is that where she died? I don't know. I see a horn here, so I don't think it's Scootaloo. But there's got to be a reason for that. Next part. Next part. I don't know. I just said that really stupidly. But now we have some more characters here. Nurse Redheart is not infected, but also not immune. She's helping survivors on the outskirts of Ponyville, having a makeshift tent for her clinic. Starlight supplies her medical materials, but when asked to join them in the shelter, Redheart refuses, the reason only known by herself. She was working at Ponyville Hospital when the outbreak began. Now we have Ditsy Doo, or Derpy, who is not infected but also not immune, who is as adorable as ever. We love Derpy here. She was found by Nurse Redheart in the train station. When asked, she said she was waiting for a pony called Dr. Hooves. She is currently working as the delivery mare for Nurse Redheart's makeshift clinic. She was waiting at the train station when the outbreak began. It had already been a week since then when Red Heart found her. Dr. Sapphire Bluehearts, not infected but also not immune. He is a former surgeon, infamous for his more than questionable medical practices. However, his surgical and almost miraculous way of curing patients managed to get him a spot in the Ponyville shelter. He was arguing with his sister when the outbreak began. Dr. Ruby Bluehearts, not infected but also not immune. She is a very competent doctor. Her research work have also been recognized by a huge portion of the medical circle, yet her eccentric nature and hot-headed demeanor made her quite unpopular amongst patients. She is currently the head doctor in the Ponyville shelter. She was arguing with her brother when the outbreak began. I really like her design. She looks cool. Next part. Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom. Eek. Are you alright? You've been dozing off quite a bit today.
Well, I was just thinking about Granny, and what if we could have saved her, or if Applejack never went missing?
I know it's hard not to think about those, and I know it's hard to get used to, but for now, let's just keep our hopes up and help out the others at the shelter as much as we can, alright? Crunch. Rustle, I guess. I don't know. They looking. Pinkie Pie? Now that is where it ends. So I gotta say, after actually finishing this AU, it's not finished yet. At least from what I've downloaded thus far. But 1, the artwork is absolutely fantastic. 2, the story is amazing. I made a little mistake when I numbered some of the parts. It was kind of, that kind of sucked. I got the Infection Stage 2 mixed up with the 3rd one, and I numbered them improperly, but hey, whatever, you know, and in case you need some proof about that, if you actually go here, as you can see, I had to download every single part from the slide and number them in order for this to be doable without TikTok's bugs getting in the way. I want you guys to enjoy an AU for what an AU is meant to be. And I feel like with TikTok purposefully skipping videos right when you get to the last slide without any solution to get it to replay or even just stall so you can admire it, I had to do things my way, and this is the first attempt, so I hope you guys don't mind. At the end of the day, though, this is a really, really good AU. Really solid. I really like this one. I think it had some fantastic artwork. I like the direction that the story is going in. I really like some of the gore designs in this too. They are absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So props to Frankenstein. They did an amazing job on this thus far, and I would love to see more if they release more in the future. I'm super excited for it. This is a really, really good AU. So if you want to check it out for yourself, it'll be linked in the description down below. And one thing I also got to say before we move on, because I know some people are already clicking off the video. I see you guys in the chat over there. I know this video is pre-recorded, but you guys didn't think I was paying attention, huh? I'm watching you, you silly little fellas down there. Yeah, that's right, you. I'm watching you. I know what you're doing right there. Thinking you're going to get away with it. I see you. If you're going to leave, wait until this message, because it's quite important. What I was going to say is the video that's going to be uploaded after this is going to be quite long. It is a horror game playthrough, but the video itself is Luna Game 3D. The entire playthrough of it in one video. And I already recorded about 2 hours playing it because I got stuck at like parts, and I'm hopefully going to finish it tonight so it'll be uploaded later. And at the end of that video, I do basically say I'm just going to make a part 2, but no, I'm not. I'm going to do a shit ton of editing just to make the video all compact for you guys, and I'm going to try to make it as good as I can possibly make it, just to warm your fuzzy, beautiful hearts. Now anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you did. I would really appreciate it. And if you're interested in helping out the channel or supporting the channel or even supporting me, 2 things. If you're subscribed, please hit that bell icon. It helps out a crap load. You have no idea how much it helps. It really like notifies you guys whenever I upload a video, because YouTube doesn't like to push out my non-AU related videos as much as other videos. And Virium made a video, and he basically hit the mark right on the head. He basically put the nail in the coffin, said it perfectly. Shout out to Virium. But if you guys are really interested in helping with that to get my other content out there as well, I would really appreciate it if you hit the bell icon and keep an eye out on the channel for when I upload. It means the world to me. A lot of the times I upload at 4 p.m. EST, sometimes later depending on if I didn't get a video done or yet, or it's not a day that I'm not taking a day off or whatever, or it's a day that I don't know. I'm messing up my words already. But also, if you're interested in supporting me personally, check out the links in the description down below. The previous video that was uploaded was me playing a horror game. It was Slender Ponies, and it was incredibly difficult at parts. But there was a very cool thing too in the comments of that video. The game creator himself came to me and gave me tips when it came to the difficult parts and how is it like AI when it comes to the characters, the horror models or whatever. He gave me tips on how to make it easier. So I'm going to have to go back to that later, but I would appreciate it if you checked out the past videos, the music channel, any of the links in the description below. It really does mean the world to me if you guys check it out, and I would appreciate it so much. Thank you guys, though. Now, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Peace!